Feeling left behind or out of tune? Psychology of hypergamy. Why it feels like everyone is upgrading except you. Have you ever scrolled through social media, watched people move on, level up, switch friend groups, change lifestyles, and suddenly felt out of sync with the world? Like everyone got the memo except you? One day people value your presence, text you, relate to you, and then slowly something changes. Their standards rise, their attention shifts, their priorities evolve. And you start questioning yourself. Was I not enough? Did I fall behind? Why does it feel like people only care about status now? That feeling is more common than you think. And psychology has a name connected to part of this behavior: hypergamy. But the internet completely distorted what it actually means. Most people reduce it to dating or trading up financially. But psychologically, hypergamy is much deeper than that. At its core, hypergamy is the human tendency to seek relationships, environments, and social positions that appear to improve survival, security, status, or emotional fulfillment. And this instinct is not limited to women or romance. Humans in general naturally gravitate toward what they believe upgrades their life. Better opportunities, better circles, better outcomes. Even friendships work this way. The problem is, modern society turned this natural instinct into a non-stop competition. Now people don't just want stability, they want optimization. And social media intensified this obsession beyond anything humans evolved for. Because now people compare their everyday reality to millions of curated highlight reels. After enough comparison, something dangerous happens psychologically. People stop appreciating connection and start evaluating value. Who earns more? Who has more influence? Who gives them more status? And when relationships become transactional like that, people start feeling disposable. But once you truly understand hypergamy, you stop taking every social shift personally. Because sometimes people are not abandoning you. They're chasing alignment with the version of themselves they're trying to become. Section 1. Humans naturally compare themselves to others. Your brain is constantly measuring position. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. Humans naturally compare income, relationships, looks, confidence, and success to the people around them. And social media amplified this instinct to dangerous levels, because now you don't just compare yourself to your neighborhood, you compare yourself to millions of people at once. Every scroll feels like evidence. Someone richer, someone happier, someone more attractive, someone winning. And after enough exposure, your brain starts to feel behind, even if your real life is completely normal. People begin chasing symbols, not because they truly value them, but because they fear falling behind socially. And that fear changes behavior. People upgrade relationships, circles, and personalities, not because they became evil, but because they became insecure. Section 2. Why feeling out of tune hurts so much? The human brain craves belonging, not physically, but emotionally. You want to feel understood, valued, connected. So when people suddenly outgrow you or move differently, it creates psychological friction. But sometimes nothing happened. People simply changed frequencies. One became obsessed with money, another with image, another with spirituality. And eventually, the connection stopped matching. Most people interpret this as personal rejection, but not every disconnect is hatred. Sometimes their boat simply sailed in another direction, and it's still all love when they see you again. Bitterness destroys more relationships than distance ever will. People return to environments that feel emotionally safe, not emotionally heavy. And the more desperate someone feels for validation, the more people unconsciously pull away. Because desperation creates invisible tension, but calm confidence creates attraction. Section 3. Hypergamy isn't just romantic, it's social. Hypergamy affects almost every part of society. People naturally move toward environments they believe improve their lives. Jobs, cities, friend groups, opportunities, even content. The danger happens when someone becomes addicted to external elevation, because eventually nothing satisfies them. There's always someone richer, smarter, more connected. This creates what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. People adapt to achievements quickly, then immediately seek another upgrade. Someone buys a luxury car, feels powerful for a week, then sees someone with a private jet, and suddenly their success feels small. That's why some people become obsessed with appearances but internally feel lost. Because psychological peace cannot be purchased externally. Chasing status without inner stability feels like drinking salt water. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. Section 4. Why people fear being left behind. One of the deepest human fears is social irrelevance. Not just failure, but invisibility. Neurologically, social rejection activates many of the same pain centers as physical pain. Your brain interprets exclusion almost like danger, because thousands of years ago, being excluded from the tribe could literally threaten survival. So when someone stops responding or upgrades socially, your nervous system interprets it as, "I'm losing value." Modern culture quietly encourages this by teaching people to measure themselves through attention, likes, followers, validation. But attention is unstable. One viral moment can make someone feel important, and one quiet month can make them feel invisible. Grounded people eventually realize being admired by strangers means nothing if you don't respect yourself privately. Not every closed door is punishment. Sometimes it's protection. Section 5. Why self-created identity matters more than status. One of the most dangerous things you can do is build your identity entirely around other people's approval, because the crowd changes constantly. What society praises today, it criticizes tomorrow. If your self-worth depends on external validation, your emotions will always be unstable. Life is not one giant leaderboard. Everyone has different timing, different battles, different goals. History is full of late bloomers. Colonel Sanders built KFC in his 60s. Many successful artists and entrepreneurs were overlooked for years before becoming respected. The internet hides that reality. It only shows the highlight reel, not the years of confusion behind it. The people who become the most magnetic long-term are usually the ones most comfortable being themselves, not because they stopped growing, but because they stopped shape-shifting for approval. Section 6. The real goal isn't to win socially. You will always find someone ahead of you in something. If your happiness depends on outranking others, you'll never rest mentally. The healthiest people eventually stop obsessing over social competition, not because they became lazy, but because they realized peace matters too. Admiration is not the same as connection. Attention is not the same as love. And status is not the same as peace. Real fulfillment comes from alignment, being around people who genuinely understand you, respect you, and allow you to be yourself. At some point, you have to decide, are you building a real life? Or just building an image for spectators? Because once you stop measuring your value through constant comparison, something powerful happens. You stop feeling out of tune. Because you finally realize you were never supposed to sound like everybody else in the first place. Watch this next. If this video connected with you, check out Why People Suddenly Lose Interest in You, Psychology Explained. It goes deeper into why connections fade and why emotional distance happens. That video will help you stop taking every social change personally. We are the hearts of the world. See you in the next one.